Early bird gets the worm, and I've got all the worms.
Yeah. It's not tight on the... It is now.
This is what you call technical difficulties.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Ridgeline Hunting Podcast, brought to you by Phelps Game Calls. Professional grade game calls made for every hunter. Now, this is part 2 of our NWMountain challenge, and we kind of left off. We kind of got kicked out last night of the lodge, so we left off with the raffle.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were kind of wrapping up our talk about camo fire.
Oh my gosh!
And
awesome
finishing
course.
that. It
Awesome
was.
course.
It was a good course, super long. And then, yeah. Should we talk about the raffle now or wait until after we talk about Everest?
Well, Everest happened today and the raffle was yesterday, but I mean...
I mean, if you're going to go chronologically, then we should discuss the raffle first.
Yeah, let's do it. So,
get it out of the way.
Yeah. So, obviously, every NWMountain challenge, they have a raffle. There was tons and tons and tons of prizes. And
I think you said 40,000.
$40,000.
No, it was 20,000.
20,000?
Yeah. I mean, it's still a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of prizes.
I don't roll around
know.
with 20 grand in my bank account, so.
Well, here's the thing with the raffle. So everybody's putting in for the Hoyt and the Bowtech, right? And a gentleman decided to buy $700 worth of raffle tickets and put it on one item.
Right, so if you want to do the math on that, it's really easy because they were giving 40 tickets for every $100. So 7 times 4.
Yeah.
You know, that's 280 tickets.
Yeah, it's a lot. I put in 4.
Yeah, and that just so everyone understands that little silence we had there, that was us doing math in our head.
Yeah, we're kind of tired. So,
Yeah.
I mean, math is not in the foresight here.
Right.
I really had to calculate. I was looking up like
Carry the one.
But yeah, so we didn't win a bow.
No, we didn't win anything super cool. I mean, you won something pretty cool.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I won something super cool. So there was a general raffle, and that's where I basically put most of my tickets in, was the general.
Yeah, me too.
Just because there was some Vortex Vipers that I was looking at.
Dude, there was a lot of Vortex stuff in there.
Yeah, there was
like 3 or 4 spotting scopes, you know.
Yep, couple binos.
Yeah.
Rangefinders.
Yeah.
There was a lot of awesome gear, just awesome gear. And this is something that has nothing to even do with the shoot. You just buy your tickets and you throw them in a bucket and you're good to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, outside of the NWMountain Challenge, you're just talking like general 3D competitions. There's almost always a raffle, but usually you have to at least be a participant, like you know, all weekend sort of a deal.
Yeah, usually you turn in your scorecard and then they pull from the scorecards.
Yeah.
Most raffles.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Then there's the other ticket ones where you can buy the tickets as well. But this one was basically just throw some money at it.
Yeah.
Get those dang tickets.
I ain't got $700 to be throwing in tickets.
No, so long story short, the guy that spent $700, and it's any Hoyt bow, so any bow he wanted to pick, that guy won a Hoyt bow for $700.
Oh, that's a deal. Like.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, obviously you're taking a a chance because he may have not have won that,
Right.
but he did,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically paid a quarter of the dang price for, depending on what bow he picked. I know if it was me, I'm gonna be like, give me the most expensive thing you got.
Right.
I mean,
You know, I gotta get this on eBay right after I get it from you. So.
yeah, exactly.
I
I
want
got
top of the
recoup my
line.
$700. Yeah, and then you can go and pick another one because I mean,
Yeah. Well, that one table was like the lucky table. They had like 5 or 6 different pieces of Vortex, a box of crispy boots.
oh, it was insane. It was like one group table had a bunch of stuff. But you know, you never know. That might be us next time.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get everybody back together again for Stevens Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll have a couple more guys, make it more interesting. And
Yeah, I know Nick Roop. He shoots for O'Connell Archery.
Mhm.
He's gonna be there with his wife Brittany, and they're pretty good shooters. And then I don't know if Dave's gonna be there or not. I know he was talking about it, but life. Yeah, exactly.
we were talking about that on the mountain quite a bit. Life happens and things out of your control. Sometimes you can make some stuff, sometimes you can't, and I mean it happens.
Yeah.
Same with Sandana. He wasn't able to make this shoot, but hopefully he'll be able to make Stevens.
That's too bad. I wanted to meet him. He seems like a pretty cool dude. He's from the podcast, and
he's a character, man. He's funny. He'll just make you crack up the whole time. And then also our buddy Shannon Cyphers, who was on the podcast before talking bass and stuff.
yeah.
He shoots as well, and hopefully we'll be able to get him out as well. I'm gonna be poking at these guys until they shoot. So.
Dude, you know what would be dope is if we could all somehow coalesce a Bonanza for their 50th anniversary.
When is Bonanza?
July 30th and 31st. And for those listening that don't know, Bonanza is like the big deal for, in my opinion, the west side of Washington, outside of like Northwest Mountain Challenge and stuff like that, top pins in Idaho. But if you're looking for a good all-around fun 3D shoot that's not like super demanding from a hiking perspective, it's got some gnarly courses set up just from a shooter's perspective, like that's the shoot for you. And then they always have a dope raffle set up with tons of prizes. They do money dots, novelty shots. You can't walk away a loser in my frame of mind, because even if you don't win anything, the experience by itself is a win.
And that one's at Cedar River, right?
Yeah, Cedar River Bowman.
Yeah.
In Enumclaw.
I did that one probably like 6 years ago. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That was like right after Stevens, I think.
Yeah, it would be the weekend after Stevens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
See, and
my family is going to be possibly in Florida, so my wife, I think, leaves the 27th or 28th. So
you say family? Is she taking the boys with her?
She's taking one of the kids. So I'll have the oldest boy because he's got football.
Okay.
And it's during that time. I don't know if he's starting 2-a-days yet, but he has basically football practice all week. My youngest does have soccer, but my wife is going to Florida to take care of her sister who's dealing with cancer. Yeah. So I'll have some little bit of free time, not too much, but
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even just one day is cool. You won't win anything. You have to stick it out for 2 days if you want to win anything.
But yeah, hopefully that'll happen. And then today we did Everest.
So we're gonna go do the Everest course. There's a little bit of fog up on the course, you can see it behind me. And we have to hike up this road behind me. And I already got a tip from my buddy Joe that I might want to take my jacket off because all the hiking we're gonna get hot. And I said, well, I get cold easy and it might rain. So he helped me unzip my pit zips here in my jacket. And hopefully that'll keep me cool while still keeping me dry. I did change one thing on my setup. Yesterday I was running a 6-power lens that's a blue tint, and in some of those corridor shots on dark animals, I couldn't see anything. So I swapped that to a 2-power clear
and so I shouldn't have that problem today. Today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there. I brought my dad along, and apparently I beat up on him a little too much yesterday. We ended up doing about 10 miles. We did the Hoyt course first and then the Camel Fire course. I liked both those courses. They were awesome. If you happen to find a GoPro on that course, it's mine. Little GoPro Hero 7. Black with a black and red articulating tripod. So if you find it, hit me up, therugged@yahoo.com. Hey, look who's here. Are you guys ready to go?
Heck yeah, man.
What time is it?
It's almost 9.
Let's go.
Hey, I'm blaming it on the knee.
Okay, all right. You can tell my cheeks are rosy. We're doing some climbing. Good times. I just want to take a second and thanks O'Connell Archery for, helping me restring my bow and build these arrows. I've lost a few, I've broken a few. I think I need to work on my shooting at extreme distances, at extreme angles maybe. Or just stick to the local 3Ds. It's been a hoot. I really enjoy this. I think I need to catch up. It's not all this bad, but this part is.
It's pretty gnarly.
I slipped and fell earlier and dropped my bow. Thankfully it's a Hoyt, so it didn't break.
Oh, son of a... I hit the branch.
Yeah.
We weren't able to do the victory shoot.
No.
Just time.
That's all right. It looked
Time.
like an easy, like I don't want to say it's easy, but I mean you could see most of it from the lift up to Hoyt and Camel Fire.
Yeah, it looked like there was only a couple long ones.
Yeah, that
The
bedded.
one, there's a bedded elk that's 105 yards. We know that one for sure. And then there was one when we were coming down that was like, I don't even know what.
Oh yeah, cross.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cross shot.
that was probably
like,
60, 70 yards.
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't like too crazy. But this Everest, right off the bat, is a 103-yard shot uphill
Yeah.
on, a standing elk, huge target.
It wasn't the
But
elk. Yeah.
geez, it wasn't the elk. It was the grade that you're shooting up
25%.
in the fog.
Yeah.
So nothing's working.
No.
So on this shoot, we're able to use our rangefinders. So we're not guessing the yardage on this. So
Right.
we know the yardage. We were able to yard that elk because the fog hadn't rolled
Hadn't
in
yet,
I
yeah.
think it was after target 3.
I think part of it was still up high and we hadn't got to the fog yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're
Yeah.
still like down low.
The one up by the workhouse at the top that we.
Yeah, that
couldn't
was
range
like the
anymore.
first real one we couldn't
was that,
range.
target
That
5?
bear.
4.
No. There was a laying down doe.
Oh no! The first one we couldn't range was that boar that you thought was a bear.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
And that's when we met Dan and John and what's the pilot's name? Stu? Sean.
Sean,
Oh
yeah. Starts with an
man.
F.
Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, sorry, Sean.
We
John.
got it though. We got to figure it out.
John.
Sean, John, and Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John actually has a hunt coming up in New Mexico, so that's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. But yeah, so, target 103 yards right off the bat. I was the only one to do anything on that one.
Yeah,
I
hit it in the calf.
In the freaking ankle.
Ankle calf. We got a good picture of it. Yeah. I can't believe I missed, man. I don't have like any lines past 100, so I'm just guessing. I'm pretty sure I probably dialed it to like 107.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now. He needs to shut it. Okay. Mike and I are stacking pins, and he's talking about 3 notches on his sight that he needs for extra 3 yards. My pins go to 60. Okay. So if you don't understand what stacking pins is, I'm gonna kind of dumb it down for you. So basically, if your last pin is 60 yards, you're gonna put your 60-yard pin on the vitals, and then you're gonna hold and look to see where your 20 pin is, and then you're gonna take that 60 pin and put it where that 20 pin was. That is 100 yards. Now, you need a couple of extra more yards. 3 yards isn't that bad when you're talking 52, 53 yards, and you use your 50 pin. You can kind of like squeeze in still like a good shot. But at 103 yards, and you only can guesstimate where you think 100 is, you got to give it a couple little bit more to get that shot. And
okay, so I didn't have to do as much guesswork, but I still had to guess past 100.
Dang it.
I didn't have to hold or stack or anything like that. I did put my pin on it. I overshot just by a little.
He had it rough at start, and then he cleaned it up. And actually Mike did too, so I wasn't doing too bad at the start. I was hitting foam, and then all of a sudden, just towards the end, I lost it. It fell apart for me. So
it was really close. I think we finished in like the 80s for points. I'm not gonna lie.
In 15 targets. I mean, some of the shots weren't hard.
No.
The factor was we were getting blasted by rain and
fog. Fog was a big factor. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I've got that lens on mine, and there were times like that standing bear, I couldn't see the standing bear. I had to shoot it with both eyes open.
I saw like the top of the ears.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
different
exactly.
color.
You
And
know,
I basically just like Jesus take the wheel and shoot it, and I actually hit it. So
yeah, exactly.
So there's a standing bear, and it's kind of weird because it kind of blended in with the ground.
It did. It just, like I said, it looked like a big turd sticking up out of the ground.
It was a very hard target to shoot, and to be honest, this group sitting right here, myself, and Dustin and Mike, we're the only ones that actually hit the dang target out of the 6 guys that were standing there shooting.
Yeah.
Because we ended up partying up with 2 other groups. So it was a double, 2 brothers, and then a single guy, and that was John. And we all just teamed up and did that after maybe target 5 or something like that.
Yeah,
No, it
because
was,
he was the only one
6 or
with a
something.
working rangefinder.
it was the boar.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we
3.
teamed up. Was it?
Yeah, the
4?
boar was like target 3 or 4.
It was
Oh,
target
wow.
3, and
It was
so
really,
we shot
really
dang
quick.
near the whole shoot with these guys, and it was, since target 3 or 4, we shot the whole shoot with them.
Yeah.
We had 1 working rangefinder at
the fog.
certain times.
In the fog.
His was the only one that would work in the fog, and I have a pretty expensive Vortex rangefinder.
Yep.
And it just gave me the 3 dashes. It basically just gave me the bird.
Gave you the electronic bird.
Yep, and said, not today.
Nope.
Yeah, mine was like, oh, that 60-yard shot was 7 yards.
Yeah. Mine does that every time there's even a slight fog in the air. When I'm out in the woods, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to get to where I know about 30 is. And if I can't get within 30, then I guess I'm not getting an animal today.
Mine's usually not too bad, but how to describe the fog would be, you need to go on YouTube and look up Alaska hunts, and usually around day 2 or 3 they're socked in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the fog is just intense.
Oh, yeah.
That was what we were shooting our bows in.
Yo, it was kind of like a meat eater episode on Fog Neck Island.
Yep.
Because they're always in rain and fog.
Yep. It's exactly
On
what
a
it
fog
was.
neck, yeah.
So it was pretty intense. But it was fun.
It was
fun.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah. So Dustin's really trying to just talk about and describe. We climbed straight up.
Dude, yeah.
Straight up.
At some points, we were almost like 2 legs and an arm trying to get up. And I'm not over exaggerating. I even slipped on a down. I slipped and dropped my bow. And so we were side hilling up and down, and I was maybe doing a mile an hour going up a hill.
Yeah.
It took us 4 hours.
Yeah, 15 targets, just under 5 miles.
Yep.
But I don't think they account for the back and forth of grabbing the arrows and doing all the other stuff. So I mean, because Mike looked at his watch and it was over 5 miles.
Yeah,
was it?
It was like 6 something.
Oh, wow.
From just walking to the targets and back and all that.
Hiking around and all that other stuff. And I mean, this is, if you don't have a good set of legs underneath you and have actually like put in a good workout, you know, before doing Everest, I can say you could do all the other ones, but the Everest, you need to be in some decent shape.
At least have a familiarity with like just
Hiking.
climbing around and hiking in the woods, because there's some of that shale rock stuff that we were going up. You got to know foot placement, how to use the edge of your shoe to dig in.
Arrows on that goat.
Yeah.
Dang, it was like some rocks are slipping.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like climbing around on rocks by the ocean.
Yeah,
it's all slippery.
Falling down and stuff. Like I hit one and it was fell down.
Did you?
Yeah.
We could only barely see you walking up there. It wasn't until you like got to the target that we could actually see you, and then you would come down from the target on that goat, the white one, especially.
With me and.
I think that was it was either Sean or Dan.
No, it was Dan.
It was Dan.
Yeah,
It was
Dan.
Dan.
Dan's the big Viking.
Yeah, Dan went up with me, and we were talking the whole time up there.
Yeah, we could hear you. I was like, man, these 2 chatty Cathys up there taking forever.
I know,
Pull
get
some
my
arrows,
dang
come
arrow.
back. Yeah.
That was the one.
You mean the one that I exploded that
Yeah,
you were
blew
never
up.
going to retrieve? Yeah, that one.
It's all right. I didn't know my arrow could ricochet.
Yeah. There's a couple kneeled ones. Those 2 kneeled ones are pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not for Dave.
They
but
were
for us.
well, that 30-yard one, man. Like, it was interesting. And what I want to say is, it was interesting shooting with Dan and his rangefinder, because he was saying that full draw 4 that he has, he can set it up specifically to his setup, math-wise. So like his arrow build and all of that.
Yeah, all the ballistics.
Which means,
everything.
and like I was telling you before, just yesterday, his 30 yards is not our 30 yards.
Yep.
Because the arc of the arrow is going to be different. It might be line of sight 30, but your arrow might act differently. And we saw that today. He would call out a yardage, and he would shoot it for that yardage and nail it. And then I would go and pin it on my mover to that yardage, and I'd maybe shoot a little low.
Yep, I was shooting low pretty much the whole time, and then I was just like, okay, well, once my rangefinder starts freaking working again, I'm not going off his yardage, or I'm adding 3.
Yeah.
That's why I started going.
Yep. Yeah, I started shooting a little bit better, and then towards the end, I just crapped out.
Yeah, I really like that bedded elk at 103 at the end. It was like a redemption
104.
3 or 4.
Hey, that 1 yard at 100 yards.
Sure. I mean,
To be honest,
we almost tended.
Mike put in a good shot on that one too.
Dude, yeah, he did. For not having a 100-yard pin.
Yeah.
And I got to compensate because my IVO is slow. So I had to go 100 yards when I was stacking pins and do 10 more yards above that. Because I'm like 6 yards a little bit slow on true pin stacking when it goes that high.
Really?
And he has a lot of drop off after 80 yards. After 80 yards, there's a huge drop off.
Oh,
so like his stacking is not like true on each pin.
Okay.
After 80 yards.
Got it.
We've kind of figured that out just shooting flat range.
That's probably because you're shooting a heavy arrow.
No,
it's a hunting grain arrow. I mean,
it's actually pretty light for hunting.
What are you running?
440.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
That's
so for
barely
Washington State, you have to have 6 grains
per inch.
Mm-hmm. So his is, both of ours needs to be over 420 for it to be legal. He's at 440, and I think I'm at 435 or something like that. I know a lot of guys that shoot at 450, and I was kind of like, well, I want a little bit more speed out of it, maybe. I can shoot his arrows just the same as mine, and they're 6 or 7 grains heavier or something like that. So I think once you get into like the 480 plus, that's when stuff really starts to slow down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Interesting. Well, good shot. Good shooting.
Yeah, good shooting.
You did good, man.
But end of it was good for me.
Yeah.
So your takeaway, Mike, if you're to like wrap this all in, man, for someone that has never shot a 3D before, who has actually never really hiked around with their bow ever, because you haven't even got to that point yet.
Yeah.
Explain
Broke
to
you in
somebody
good.
that definitely it did, and he shot freaking awesome.
Yeah.
He really did. I would say this is an extreme type of 3D shoot. This is something that you're not really
I was getting
gonna
better at those upward shots too.
Yeah.
Like that one upward shot that you unfortunately blew up that area.
Yeah. I had a couple blow-ups.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
I destroyed it yesterday, so.
I mean, 60 yards, you're going to kill it. 60 and in. So, I mean, even maybe 80 and in.
Yeah, but I probably would have never did an 80-yard shot. I'll probably try to creep in up on it.
No, man, you want to be within 40.
Yeah,
That's
for
like
real.
my goal.
I like 40 or closer.
But what would you say to somebody that's never done this before and they're thinking about doing this shoot or any 3D shoot? Like, what would be your takeaway, since you're like the new guy?
Yeah, I would say bring snacks.
You should have told me.
And a lot of water.
Okay.
But also, don't plan on just bringing your 5 or 6 arrows. You gotta bring like 12 just in case. If you're like a semi-new shooter.
Yeah.
I unfortunately only lost 6 arrows out of my 13 or 11 or whatever I have. But like some people that I was talking to, like that one girl on the shoot yesterday, I was talking to her and she freaking just down to 2.
That's a lot of arrows.
She blew up a lot of arrows.
Yeah, that's a lot of arrows. This isn't a course to like learn on, so to speak.
Yeah, like I've been shooting like quite heavily around December and all.
Yeah, you did a lot of lead up to this. That's my point.
So I probably had like 1,100 or 1,200 shots on my bow before even doing this.
Right, and you
Probably
guys are
even
shooting
more than that.
the flat range at TSE.
We shoot the flat range a lot, and then the walk-through range, which is like set up like a 3D, except for just shooting bales.
Right.
But it, you got those downhills, you got some uphills.
Skook them.
There's a various ranges,
Mm-hmm.
just not shooting at foam. So you have like on a bale, you have some leeway because they're big,
Mm-hmm.
and on a skinny little teeny little bear.
Oh yeah, quartering away or whatever.
Yeah, you miss by 6 inches, your arrow's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you don't have room for error necessarily on these 3Ds.
Yeah, well, like that standing bear at 60, that light brown one.
Oh yeah.
Those
And
3
the
guys
fog.
totally missed it.
Yeah, just to the right. Boom.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. So I was like, man, are they doing something wrong? Or
Yeah, they
the
weren't
wind
paying
kicking
attention to
up
their
back-
bubble. I was
kicking
talking
back?
with Dan and Sean. They were like, I didn't even look at my bubble. I said that's why I let down, because I looked at my bubble and it was hard pressed on the left of my
Yeah, so
thing.
where we were shooting from, there was a bit of an angle.
Yeah, slight.
And, yeah, that slight angle, if you're not watching your bubble, you're going to lose an arrow.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Right. But anyways,
That happened to me like a couple times.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really easy to do. And then, like, the thing that I'm always telling my daughter is you got to pay attention to your peep to
Front sight.
sight relationship. Because on like one of the shots, as soon as I drew back, I noticed my peep was cocked. That little twist in your peep will affect your shot, and you'll throw it left or you'll throw it right.
Yeah.
You'll think you're money, and I wasn't even really paying attention to that. So
And one of the shots I had to like draw back because I had to like reset because like the wind and rain didn't feel right, so I really had to reset. I think that was the one I was kneeling down and shooting up near the end.
yeah,
And that's the
Again.
one that I opted out of kneeling out on.
yeah, you
Kneeling
should
down.
have.
Dude, okay. So there's a 55-yard shot.
It looked doable
uphill.
standing.
I had a easy window. None of my pins were hitting anything, and my arrow hit like a branch or something at like 35 yards. And my usually on all 3Ds, when you draw back and if it's a far shot, you need to see what's in front of you and see if any of your other pins are hitting anything, because at 20 yards, if your 20-yard pin's hitting something, it's going to hit that. It's going to drill it. My pins were completely free. I don't know how it clipped this little twig and just sent my arrow to God knows where.
I bet you it was a fletching that clipped it.
I don't know, man. It was just like the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it happens. It's whatever, but...
Hey, thankfully it was on foam and not a live animal.
Oh my gosh, I would have...
Could you imagine if that
my
had been
heart
like
would have
a
sank.
big old muley or
Nope,
an
I
elk?
can't imagine that.
And
I
you
can't.
just-
I'm gonna have bad dreams. It was fun, but Dustin and I were like at the end, we're kind of like competing a little bit because we're super close in points.
Yeah.
And then we both crapped the bed on that shot.
Yeah.
And we both look at each other like, oh great, here we go.
It's like, okay, I think Mike's back in it.
Yep. Mike's
What were
catching
the
back
scores
up.
for-
I didn't tally it up. I'm too busy trying to break down and get everything
Yeah.
set up to go. Speaking of that, we should probably put a cork in this.
Yeah. So that was it.
Oh.
The standing or the laying down elk was the last shot, 103 yards. I came up about a yard short, and Dustin and Mike freaking drilled that sucker.
Yeah.
Awesome shots, awesome shooting. But Dustin, what would be your takeaway on this shoot? Because this is your first time doing this shoot. Right?
This particular shoot, yes. Top pin was similar, not as extreme, but definitely similar. My takeaway is I just need to pay more attention to like settling in,
Yeah.
because like I was kind of saying before, I wasn't allowing myself to really focus on the shot because I was having maybe too much fun, I should say. I was just trying to hit foam. I didn't care where it went as long as it hit foam. And so my pin would get there and I'd be like, yep, go. And I think if I had spent more time actually trying to like score well instead of just shoot, I would have lost less arrows, broke less arrows. That's my takeaway. I liked it.
Yeah, for me, same thing. Settling in the shot. I did that during Camel Fire.
Yeah.
And I mean,
oh, you really did. Yeah.
Yeah, Camel Fire was awesome for me. I had a great shoot on that one. But coming down off the mountain, my knee was trash. So doing Everest, I was more or less just hoping that I could make it to the end.
Yeah.
But I was not settling in the shot, and I think the fog had a lot to do with that for me, like mentally, because I was just like, let's just get out of this crap, because in a hunting situation I would have got lower and got out of the fog. So, but for the shoot, it raised the level of like difficulty for sure. So I think taking a little bit more time on the shot and really focusing in a little bit more, I would have done a little bit better. I mean, I didn't really shoot too bad. I missed 3 targets, so the 103-yard one,
Yeah.
and then 2 that I shouldn't have missed.
Right.
And that was just one I dropped my arm and blew my arrow up, and the other one I clipped a stupid little branch. But
Yeah.
just focus. I think focus. So I think at the Stevens Pass one, I'll definitely have a lot better shoot. And I mean, I haven't shot a 3D in a super long time, so I know for next season, I'm jumping up to a mover. So that's going to be my takeaway.
Option, dude.
I'm getting a new bow sight.
Option 4 sounds really good.
Yeah, I'm actually going to look into that.
At least for a hunting site.
I think I'm going to go into that one only because you can have, the 4 fixed pins, and that 5th pin could be your mover, so that I can still have my 20 to 60. But for shoots like this, I have a mover sight. So
Yeah.
all in one sight.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I might do that, or I might do the Black Eagle 5-pin mover.
Yeah. And just so people are clear, like
not the Black Eagle, the Black Gold.
yeah, because there are other companies that have that floater pin, if you will, that mover pin, but the option Like it flips it out. So you have your 4 pins that are fixed, and they flip out, and then you have your mover.
To a single pin.
Yeah, on a single pin. So
pretty cool.
It is cool. Can I just say 2 things before we?
No, yeah, man, you're good.
The first one is for all those people that might live in and around the Shelton, Washington area, go check out O'Connell Archery. They'll be your closest local bow shop, and they do good work. They helped me restring my bow, and they helped me build my arrows, and my arrows were shooting good, so nice. Better than I was shooting.
Nice shout out. I like it.
Yeah, and the Rugged Arts on YouTube, you can find content there as well, and I also have a podcast. So.
Yep, and then you'll probably hear this on the Rugged Arts podcast.
Yeah.
And on the website, because we're actually
we'll just
on the GoPro right now.
Yeah, we are.
So if you're actually looking for the Ridgeline Hunting Podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and on YouTube it's Ridgeline Hunting. But everybody, thank you for listening, and get out and shoot your bows, and when you do, focus up.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.